Hello, evening. Um, yeah, masks, right? I didn't want to. I've not really got anything planned, so I say what I like, really. Um, I guess I was, said this is probably going to take a while because I quite like masks actually. Um, so I might talk about them. Show my clothes now. In as long as I like, really. So this might be a long one. Um, for the bag, I've not actually worn a bag before. You're thinking, oh, zany character, crazy guy wearing a bag. But I just didn't want to wear clothes. And I have to wear clothes. I don't want to be naked as well because my pasty form isn't. I mean, it might be kind of impressive. Sometimes I think about posture lately, and maybe how much posture can actually affect life. You know, well, we're not talking about my naked pasty body. So I thought the bag would be, it's just as good, really. Anything, it might be better. But today we're not talking about bags or clothes or anything like that. Or the fact that I didn't want to actually be wearing any clothes because I don't know, I didn't want to. We're talking about bags. We get that. Sure. It's just it's just about the bags there. So we are talking about masks and how much I love masks. Obviously, at the moment, the health mask, is actually we're seeing that more um, because of health. But I quite like masks, and I'd like masks to be a thing. You know, I think like it could do a lot of things for people and stuff. Especially if the surveillance state comes. I mean, it's not the idea, and immediately I don't want to think of crime, use of crime. And I'm not saying just because you're being surveyed means you can or can't do crime. Although surveillance has definitely changed the way we've committed crime over the last 10 years, people say. That's something to think about, or not to. And have they actually improved anything? But that's a video for another time. Today, it's masks. So, I thought maybe this might be a chance for us to step into the fact that we could actually maybe enjoy masks in the public domain, right? And have like proper, decent masks. Um, and I don't know, I think it's sort of associated quite heavily as like a Japanese thing, isn't it? Like you do see in sort of Japanese pop culture and traditional culture as well, people who would wear masks and these sorts of thing. Um, I think they have like maybe the festivals and stuff, and there was a theatre as well. They did, I think it was called No Theatre during the No period, Dynasty, No Dynasty, maybe. I hope I'm getting that right. Um, they'd have these sort of theatrical events with like shadow work and light and stuff, and I think that sounds quite interesting. Um, I've not actually experienced that much, or really actually got to wear much masks. That came out really weird. But it's something I'd like to do because I quite like theatre and all these sorts of things. You know, as does any person who wears a bag. Maybe I can't really speak for all bag people, but I'm presuming some of them. Especially I don't know. You see like the traditional gothic punk women who wear plastic bags. I think some of them are pretty like avant-garde or whatever. But some of them might have actually been men. Now I think of it, but that's neither here nor there right now. Anyway, we're talking about masks. So the thing about today, people wear a mask, and especially the Japanese style of culture and thing. I don't know. I feel like when people put on the masks, it comes there's this sort of not cynicism, but almost kind of like um, a shiftiness, maybe like a sort of like a sexy sort of like deviance, not deviance, but sort of deviousness potentially. And they all sort of take on this sort of chance, oh, I've got this sort of where I can hide, and maybe I can get up to some sort of mischief and things. But that's only one sort of character, and I don't really think that we should possess all masks with this sort of character, because to me, the the what was it? Not I don't know, the the word that I can't think of. The idea would be to actually have these masks as different characters and different outlooks, maybe, and actually possess the mask and the person, and build a person, and sort of like capture the mood of the mask in a communal sense, and sort of have that mask have its own sort of soul, sort of thing. You could wear different masks in different settings and different situations and stuff, and take on that sort of persona, sort of thing, or yeah, like parties or something. Um, try on different like outlooks and that. Yeah, and I'd like to make masks, do masks, and I don't know if mask work is already a thing, because people who do their private parties and they sort of wear masks, but I think there's has a like a bit of a sex element. It might be for the upper class or something, but scratch, scratch, scratch. Always scratch my head as well. Don't start scratching your head, people. You look at this, you go, oh, scratch, scratch, scratch. I don't know. What? Shut up. Masks. Um, I guess a mask would give you a scratchy head. I think. Maybe. I don't know. But the masks, right? What was I saying? So yeah, they're sort of like maybe sexy highbrow people, but I want it to be a public street fashion thing. So what I'm saying is, if you guys have been having all the best things in the world and enjoy them in your secret little reserves, good for you. Because I mean, I can't really hate you too much, because potentially it's all the same gear, really, isn't it? So potentially you've just got taste, and maybe not everybody thinks weird theatrical flamboyance is commonplace. And for you in your own home, that might just be what you do, and it might just be completely normal. And always people show up and go, "Wow, these guys are putting on a proper event." You're there in your mask, like, yes, it's especially for you, sort of thing, right? But as a man of the public, I'd like to instate these values in on the high street, because it's the best sort of place, really. It's like we need this all this good stuff to sort of have a sort of cultural revival, because this stuff does exist, and as you'll see, like, oh, that was a proper classic, yeah, skunked it, isn't it? Um, but yeah, so it'd be quite lovely. And okay, some of the masks I'd like to try, because they wouldn't just be caricaturely or caricature, uh, characteristic, something like that. It wouldn't, yeah, well, it wouldn't be just caricaturely, right? Different characters, you know, with character or whatever. But they'd also be sort of maybe a bit not like psychological, but obviously, yeah, there's elements to masks in there. There's, people put on. That's another thing as well. I wouldn't be like, oh, this is the persona or whatever. This is this idea, and I'm going to try it out in the public, and oh, I'm wearing a mask underneath my own real face, because, I'm not a liar, so I'd actually have a physical, actual, very real mask, um, and be quite upfront about that. I guess you wouldn't necessarily know it's me, because I'll be in a mask. I'm not saying I'm bad at necessarily doing these sorts of theatrical devices, but I'm not. I don't want to be. I'm not going to deceive. I don't know. I might be deceiving in a mask, perhaps. Um, but I don't know. Is that just the same or not? I guess deceit is deceit. But anyway, it's not strictly about deceit. But some of the masks that I'd like to try. So one of them I'd like to do, and there was one I wanted to wear for this thing specifically, and that's totally slipped my mind. And at the time I was thinking, I can't wear that. It's kind of like way too classic, and it sort of like spoils it. And it wasn't the whole happy sad mask, which is classic mania is interesting that theatrical people tend to be bipolar and depressive and all these sorts of things. Um, is it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe. But yeah, I was thinking I can't really wear that because it is a bit like, don't want to say on the nose, but maybe maybe that's what I'm saying. Sort of, I don't know. It was a bit sort of like, felt like it's spoiling it a little bit. But I can't even remember what it is, so it doesn't matter. But some of the other masks I'd always wanted to try. One of them would be like a big silvery sun moon thing, right? But different sizes, yeah. So one of them's like really big, yeah, and the person behind it would be sort of like far away, personality wise. No matter how close he gets to you or how far away he is, say it's, the hall or whatever, like emotionally he's quite far away from you. And then the smaller it would get, the closer it gets to you, or maybe the other way around. So when it's really small, so big face, small mask, interesting. Already, in my eyes, might be like talking to you directly, face to face, but quite distant. Not necessarily any moral perspective on that, but yeah, just quite distant sort of thing, sort of ish. It's quite simple to get your head around, but quite difficult for me apparently to say. And then obviously a greater shiny. It's got a sort of like this embossment to it, so the light would sort of catch to it nicely, and it's got all these sort of like not like sort of, I want to say, not like jolts. I don't know. These sort of like little sort of like seeds, but impressed into it. So I don't know, like a pie dish or something that's been flattened, maybe. Yeah. Them avant-garde people, I always imagine them. Not, I don't know if they do, but to wear a little pie dish on the hat. Absolutely classic fashion, highbrow fashion. That bag 1 week, I'll have to wear the small pie dish on my head one night. Because I don't know, it really captures the light or something. I don't know. I'll prove. I don't know. Will I be in a dress? Who knows? Exciting. But we'll see. And also the micro bowl as well. Something I'd like to try one day. Because actually, I quite hate when things become fashionable, especially when I actually do them. This whole skunk thing, I don't actually like it. So the micro bowl, I don't know if that's ever been done before, but it's something I'd like to try. And it is essentially a small bowl on your head, but small, too small, sort of asymmetrical on the head, but still quite a thick, strong bowl of hair. But yeah, that's another one I might try one day. I feel like it's definitely been done though. But something I'd have to necessarily maybe bring back. And then you go, oh, everyone's doing the micro bowl. I have noticed people shaving the back of their heads a lot. I'm seeing that as a thing. So, yeah, for me, that's a spiritual experience actually. Not just fashion, but whatever. I think I spoke about it in another one, so it's looking a bit gay. But it was, it's never supposed to look good. Well, it wasn't never not supposed to look good, but it sort of wasn't necessarily supposed to look good anyway. So where were we? Different mask. Another one I'd like to try. Oh no, I've forgotten it. I've got quite a few that I want to do. Um, I guess one of them would just be a sort of cubist, almost perceptual, directional face. So just as if the light hits the face differently, and you can pull different faces in different lights, I guess. But this one would just sort of be sort of like bent mirror, maybe. But it's conceptual master. It doesn't matter too much about the practicality of it. But as you move around the perception of the person, you look them dead in the face. You could be one person, you see them side on. You could be a very different person. That could work quite nicely in a ball setting. Might not necessarily be the nicest person in the world. Maybe when he's like this, he could be an absolute just evil person, quite twisted or whatever. But it's your face. He's quite nice, whatever. Rich people love that, I'm sure. I've got some friends who scare me. They seem to be like that. But yeah, I will add as also mask work, nose and stuff. This all does seem to be getting a bit Clockwork Orange, doesn't it? But you know, I'm not been influenced by that film. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Um, and obviously theatre and all these sorts of things are quite prevalent, and yeah, they have masks in that. Um, but you know, the thing is, orange just goes beyond Clockwork Orange, and all these things they come from things specifically of like traditional English things. Yeah, and yeah, what is it? The saying is it's just queer as Clockwork Orange, isn't it? That's what the saying is apparently. But obviously the other half of, I guess, well, it's not the other half, but you know, the same saying is as queer as folk, you know. So this stuff is just pretty normal, really. And sadly, England isn't very English anymore, which is probably a good thing because, as you can see, there's quite a lot of terrors, really, um, in the English, which is a shame because it just doesn't have to be, and it isn't really. Um, you know, it's like a hammer, but just without a hammer on the end. It can only be used for beating and sex or something, you know. But in the hands of a policeman, you know, completely different perspective. Yeah. Anyway, back to masks. Where else are we taking this? So, we talked about reality. We did the happy sad thing. I don't know even what that says. I don't know what that says. Oh, yeah, okay. It's kind of good. It says several things. None of them really that helpful. But, you know, we've covered that as well, I think. Right, we've done the book. So I don't know, I guess I'd maybe try and make some more stuff up, I guess. Hmm. So yeah, mask work. It'd be great, guys. It'd be great fun. We'll love it. You guys are probably already enjoying it. Masks and stuff. Something we have to do. Yes. I'm just thinking now I can have terrible, evil, gothic children running around for me doing my bidding in my masks, you know. It'd be brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. Quite like that actually. Okay. So, I mean, and you know, I didn't invent masks, and I'd like people to do it. So, I don't know, maybe people go, oh, well, you said it now, so I don't know if I want to do it. But, you know, we'll see. And anyone, I think, you know, it's unifiable. Every culture has masks as well. So, don't think of it as an English thing at all. Yeah. It's queer as folk. It's queer people everywhere, man. It's, you know, it's the stars, isn't it? It's, you know, it's gonna be alright, guys. It's gonna be alright. You'll see, you'll see. But yeah, wearing a mask is not an excuse to be a criminal. You know, if you're gonna be a criminal, then yeah, you might need a mask, but you should be a criminal anyway. You know, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because if you aren't a criminal and you put on a mask, you go, oh, I'm a criminal now. I'm gonna pretend to be a criminal. Do you actually know what you're doing? Hey? And then, you know, you could get tricked by harder criminals, and you know, screwed then, aren't you? So be warned. Yeah. Criminality. I wonder, is that from like Crim? Is Crim like that anything to do with blood? I don't know. Hmm, interesting. Anyway, we're not talking about blood or criminality right now. I guess we saw that. But specifically, don't do it. Don't get all sexually deviant either, because, you know, I don't know actually. Just, you know, yeah, I don't know. Probably, yes, very specific masks for that sort of thing. Um, oh, no. They don't all need to be sexualized or something, do they? No, they don't. But that's not the point. Okay, right. Hope you still recording. It's quality stuff. This. um, hmm. We're reaching the end of this season. I'm going to probably be away for a while. I've got actually a hell of a lot of work to do, and some pretty big feats I've got to pull off as well. So I'm going to have to try and pull that out at my bar as well, which will be impressive when I do, because I'm quite excited, I guess. Um, you know. Also, I think I mentioned before a COVID cure, right? I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if I said what I was, and I might need a harder base, but I don't want it to be too basic, because then I don't know if that'll be healthy and safe for you to ingest. Or and then it might not even work. It might not even touch COVID, because COVID is, potentially quite fucked up. But if we've already passed the COVID, and we've got lung damage or something, hopefully it might help lung damage. I don't know, quite scary. But yeah, how about this? When we all move past the masks, the medical masks, we'll be able to celebrate and enjoy proper masks. Or I mean, if you still got to wear, maybe, well, if we've got to wear these surgical masks all the time, maybe we can start wearing proper masks as well and have a bit of fun with it. I mean, hopefully it doesn't slide too much into like plague madness or something, and we will realise that we're like really, really screwed. Um, but if so, we could all get like off our tits, I guess, and enjoy masks, which would be interesting. Yeah, don't lose your mind too much in the masks, lose the soul or something, because I think we still got a soul, or maybe that's a good idea. Maybe that's a good out. I've been worrying about this. Sorry about the afterlife stuff as well. By the way, if I have actually really made you quite worry about the afterlife. Um, and maybe you wouldn't have actually been damned to hell until I opened the prospect up in your mind or something. I don't think that's the case. Um, I think drugs and stuff does that, maybe. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a possibility that you just don't, if you don't think about it, you don't go there. Maybe. Who knows? And if you did actually manage to split your soul up amongst masks and take on these characters, then, I don't know. It's interesting stuff, isn't it? Because I do think, yeah, caricaturely, all these archetypes, all these sorts of things, that the mask will take on sort of spirits of their own. So it's quite exciting stuff, I suppose. Um, hmm, what else? So yeah, it's not, I'm not the person to do here's my presentation on masks. This mask is from this place around the world, and in historically, we suppose in our, reiteration of the knowledge which we actually don't really talk about anymore, that this is what apparently we thought that they were to use, and this is how you pronounce his name and stuff. You know, um, I'm not that person. I'm not saying that those people don't actually know and they're just pulling your leg or something as well, but hmm, yeah, what if we don't know how to pronounce any names? But that's not the point. Yeah, I'm not that person, but I'm sure maybe someone else will be able to do that, and hopefully people will pick up on some of these topics. Even we'll do something about this sort of thing. Yeah, I'd like to see what people are like in the masks, given masks, what they'll turn into. Well, I don't know who I'd turn into in a mask.
I'd like to think maybe a bird character. I'd like to try a bit of a bird character. And I'd be quite interested to know actually as well if the plague doctors actually spoke in bird voices.
There's quite a few good bird voices too. Um, that was just a bit of an inkling, I guess, of the touch of bird voice. Because I don't know, I can't get too much into a bird voice because I might go a bit mad. So look forward to that in the coming videos. I mean, realistically, guys, some good stuff, really, isn't it? Do some weird voices, and some people do some odd voices too, so you'll watch out for those. But if I can put on some masks, do a lot of impact onto the internet, maybe. You know, and sounds like fun, doesn't it? Yeah. I wonder if Guy Fawkes he liked a mask. Classically, he's on the internet. Guy Fawkes mask, I was thinking about it the other day because November's coming around. I've got some stuff on there. I was just thinking they'd burn that man. He was a Catholic. You know, did apparently plot to blow up House of Parliament at night though. So was there anyone even going to be there? Might not have been an assassination. It could have just been a symbol thing. And someone stupidly writ in and said, please don't be there. So maybe they're just really nice people. So it's not barrels of piss explosion stuff, isn't it? And they burn the man. It's not right. Yeah. So I guess I'll leave it on that. Yeah. I want to say something else. Specifically about Guy Fawkes. I don't know much. Guido Fawkes. Cool name. I don't know if it's real. Burning people, eh? Strange. Alright. Well. Masks. Masks. I'm sure in the afterlife we'll be able to ask it. Because I'm sure he was plenty enough pleasant person. Okay. And thank you everyone. And hopefully soon I'll wear a pie dish on my head.